Hey, nice to meet you, B.
Same here. So, like, how are you guys feeling after this release? Like, now that it's in the world?
Peter, I like, I piggyback off
This
Peter
is
really well. So,
this is a very strongly emotional question, really, diving into the deep end. How the fuck am I feeling? I feel fine. The thing is that I don't know how it is for James, but you feel slightly disconnected because it's always a while since you made something, and life goes on and everything, and then you have to kind of pull yourself back and pretend it was yesterday. So that's what I'm in some kind of time vortex at the moment, but I'm good. How about you,
yeah,
James?
I feel, no, I feel really, anytime a movie, I think these days makes it out into the world is kind of like this, like monumental achievement. And it is the reason we make these films is to share them. And so it feels, I feel there's a wonderful almost release literally in the release where there's just kind of this relief. I can see it get out into the world, take on a life of its own, and hopefully entertain people. But it's also at the same time, it's kind of there's this wonderful element of like, because I just watched it again when it came out about a week ago, and I got to kind of relive the whole experience again and get back into it so I feel very very excited that it's out into the world and yeah, it feels good.
So, what kind of unique challenges did filming in Serbia like present?
That's a great question, Peter. You wanna or you want?
Okay, I'll go. There's a lot of trees,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of meat. So there we go. That's my two overriding impressions. It was a great
Well,
place to film. We were able to, within an hour, we were able to find like a fantastic, dilapidated, kind of modernist, brutalist building for the final sequence, which I don't think you would have found anywhere else. There's something very distinctive about the architecture there, which kind of top and tails the film. And they have the most beautiful unspoilt forest, and it's really nice when you go to work instead of going and sitting in an office every day, just to go out and hang out in beautiful weather in this beautiful forest. So yeah. So
yeah,
from that point of view, and there is something about working in smaller countries that where they can still be really skilled, the crews, but they're maybe not quite as spoiled or as entitled as some more experienced international crews. So yeah, it's
yeah,
great. I really enjoy it.
I gotta say, I really can't speak highly enough of just the Serbians in general and like the crew especially. I'm wearing my Belgrade, it says Beograd
oh,
shirt that
nice.
I got there. And I didn't before I went out there. I didn't honestly. I had some athletes that I love that were from Serbia, but I couldn't have put that exactly like where that was on a map. I couldn't have told you. And so it was kind of this. But I totally fell in love with the place and the people I actually found it like the most challenging element of shooting there was actually just the unpredictable weather that we had at the time. It was like pouring buckets on us in the rain one
Yeah,
second, and then it was blazing hot, like in the high 80s the next minute, and it was really kind of volatile weather. But that was really the most challenging part. Everything else is like I would go back and film there in a heartbeat. I just totally fell in love with the crew and just the experience of it all and it kind of informed the character's experience that I was playing because it was he was going to a place he had never been before, which was mirroring my own experience, and it kind of just added a layer to the performance for me. So honestly, there was more pluses for me shooting in Serbia than there were challenges, honestly. But there is a lot of meat. It's like meat wrapped in meat. That might have been. I agree with Peter that that's. I don't eat that much meat, so that was a little challenging.
yeah. So early on in the film, there's a line, and then there's a conversation about, learn to work with AI or will replace you. So do you
Mhm.
think that is like our inevitable future?
No, I don't think the future is written in stone like that. Nothing is inevitable. There are some people whose um, principles I doubt a bit. I'm not uncritical about Elon Musk, Sam Altman, people like that. But
Yeah,
this is not really what our film is about. What we take is an important and serious idea,
yeah,
and we try and make it as entertaining as possible. It's a monster movie, and the monster is not chasing you, kind of going issue, 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 you know. So I've got very strong opinions about AI, but this is not the forum actually to, because it's not that kind of movie, because it's
Right.
not like Ex Machina. It's not a serious intellectual thing at all. It's a killer robot chasing people relentlessly through the woods, you know. And we have got, there is serious stuff in there, and now and again it's sprinkled in the dialogue. A lot of the time it's buried into this kind of relationship between man and machine, but I don't actually want to talk about it like that because it will misrepresent what the movie is. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to see what it looks like when a man gets splattered on a tank trap, then you've come to the right guy.
Yeah. Although to answer your question, B, from a personal standpoint, I am like, the element of AI in terms of it being able to kind of like recreate your likeness and your voice so convincingly and stuff. I think just in general is a very kind of scary concept and is something that's like kind of already happening, and I think going to get to go further down that path. But like Peter said, that's not what this movie is. Yeah.
So, like, because James, you mentioned the weather. So, like, what were the most difficult scenes or sequences to film?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Okay.
Must have been the end, no? Was it
Yeah,
not the
the,
end?
the end was
Because
probably the
it's you and a
toughest.
big piece of plastic,
Yeah,
basically.
it's basically when we're in the old kind of military depot that's been abandoned and all overgrown with vines, and it has this like kind of sludgy cold water on the bottom. That I had to kind of lay in that water
Oh,
for
geez.
hours with these gnarly vines in my back. My neck was just, and it was freezing, and it was. And that was kind of that was one of those moments where I just kind of had to, because I can get through anything like that, to be honest, on because I love filmmaking so much that the motivating factor of being in a movie and getting to do this, to play make believe in this fantastical wild adventure out in Serbia, it kind of outweighed any of the physical challenges. Well, it always would for me because I'm just passionate about it. I love doing it. But the film was tough because I did get actually like a pretty bad cold during the filming out in the forest, and this kind
You're
of
lucky you didn't. You're lucky you didn't get roasted. What do you
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
People, we
No,
were firing at you with
it's true. There
flamethrowers
was
the
there
whole
was
time, and
flamethrowers
you're
coming
like,
at me constantly. It was, yeah, it would no it just added, this the kind of exhaustion and sickness added to it for me, and I had this Serbian witch doctor, I think, give me this B vitamin shot kind of in the trailer on lunch, just in my butt, because I was so physically like drained. I was in there
I
like
don't know
Peter
that that's
was.
even legal in the States. You know, they might come and arrest
Oh,
you, and
you
and
could
you say
you could get a
illegitimate.
B vitamin shot in the States. I remember my dad had to do it on Near Dark once when he was really feeling sick in this scene, and he
Oh,
kind of
right.
helped him
Okay.
through
So
that.
history repeats itself. I forgot to
Yeah.
say that. One very cool thing is that you see James's father, the great Bill Paxton, he was killed by Alien and by Predator.
And
So there we go.
Terminator.
So, this
Yeah.
is and Terminator. You're right. Sorry, I forgot. Alien, Terminator, and Predator. So he gets some payback. So there we go.
Yeah, I was thinking about him
What's going
during
to
filming
happen?
this. Yeah, yeah. He never shied away from fun genre, and this movie is that. It leans into
Near
its
Dark. Near
campy
Dark
side.
is a masterpiece, though. That's Catherine Bigelow's first film, no?
Yes,
Or
yes, Near
second
Dark.
film.
Yeah,
Second film, maybe after The Wayfarers. Yeah, that's a classy piece of work.
yeah, that is a good one.
So, in terms of compiling your shot list, how it changed when you were actually
Shot
in the
list?
forest.
We couldn't afford a shot list. I tell you what happens, is that, I mean, I'm lucky in that I was an editor for a long time, for like 15 years. So we go in and we rehearse a sequence. And then I think, right, this is how I'd like to shoot it. And I go and talk about it with the DP, and you come up with a list like that. And then you just go, chick, chick, okay, we'll do it because we've only got 2 hours. We're going to do the master. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You just get into this. And that's part of the fun of it. And maybe it's more fun for the people making the film than watching it. I don't know. But you get onto this thing where it's just bang, bang, bang. You've got to go. You don't always make the right decisions, you know. But what you don't do is you don't stand around kind of going, now shall I put the 50 mil on from here? Or should we, you just have to work with a crew who are disciplined and energetic, which is what we had, and skillful as well. And, 2 cameras helps a lot of this kind of thing when you've got such a short schedule. Sometimes they tread on each other. So it's really an instinctive thing. The first AD is basically begging you for a shot list as
Yeah.
you are shooting the
Yeah.
you're making up as you go along, to some extent. But I've been doing this a while, so
Yeah.
they cut together.
Hmm.
So just to kind of wrap up here, so James, I'm kind of curious, what kind of actor are you? Are you a believer in the method actor, or is that just something that you're not interested in?
That's a good question. I don't go super heavily into method acting where if I see, I'm kind of a pick and choose what works for me. I'm an amalgamation of a lot of different things. My longtime acting coach, he always kind of said he took what he felt was the best kind of, pieces of direction from all the great acting coaches and kind of put them together. I mean, if I was doing an accent and it was helpful for me to stay in the accent when I was on set just to practice, I would do that. But I wouldn't be, if I was playing like a real a-hole, I wouldn't be an a-hole to people. I don't believe in that at
Right.
all. I think that that I think actors can take themselves very seriously. I always take the work seriously, but I try to never take myself too seriously. And
You know what the best revenge would be? I'm going to write a movie in which you play a complete asshole, but you'll only get the role if you stay in character the
if
whole
I
time.
stay in character,
You have
well,
to stay
maybe
in
then I
character.
would make an exception as long as people kind of understood that. Maybe no, but
So really funny. That's a
I
funny bet.
that is a good idea. Like the foundation of before filming is always very important to me in terms of putting together who the character is and stuff. Just so you have a feeling, a place to anchor yourself from the start, of the movie from, and so I'm big on preparation for sure. I think that's a big thing, but no, I don't go too method. Oftentimes I find things that are useful to me, like in this movie. My real life experience of kind of jumping into this film. I was the last cast member attached. I replaced an actor who had scheduling conflict last minute and could no longer do the film, and it was kind of mirroring my character Tom Wilson in the film, who's filling in for his boss, going to this place he's never been. I leaned into the similarities in terms of the experience that I was actually having as James going to Serbia, with Tom Wilson going to Serbia, and I think that was helpful. So it's every film shoot is different, and the preparation is different for every one of them.
Yeah.
And so glamorous as well. He got flown all the way to Serbia to be at 6 in the morning, laying in a dirty puddle in a decaying concrete, and decaying communist concrete. I mean, it's just, what more could you ask for? It's so
Hey,
Hollywood.
it's living the dream. I think it's living the dream.
I love that. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for your time, and
Thank you. A great
congratulations on the
pleasure.
film. Yeah.
Thank you, B.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank